Whitetail Addictions. The hunt is on. There's no going back now. It's in your blood, a primal need that must be met. It drives you, it consumes you, it takes you to the edge. What was once a simple pastime has now become your addiction. This season, come share the excitement with a group of fellow whitetail addicts from Lone Wolf. Learn from their time-tested techniques, as well as their mistakes, and be there to experience firsthand the highs and the lows we've all come to thrive on. They are do-it-yourselfers just like you. Their season begins the moment the last one ends. And when it comes time to release an arrow, they come up big. This is Lone Wolf's Whitetail Addictions. This week on Lone Wolf's Whitetail Addictions, we're going to introduce you to whitetail addict Chris Seymour. Chris lives in Kansas, an area well known for its trophy whitetails. Chris works as a middle school teacher and loves sharing his passion for video equipment with his students. Chris just might enjoy scouting, planting food plots, and running his trail cameras as much as he does actually hunting, and the dedication and hard work are paying off. Chris Seymour knows the importance of trail cameras and puts a lot of extra effort into running his cameras so that when season rolls around, he's got a great idea of the caliber of deer in his hunting area. He also spends the off-season looking for those perfect locations to hang his Lone Wolf tree stands. Chris knows this is the best time to clear his shooting lanes also, so he has plenty of shot opportunities from each stand. Chris also realizes the benefits of strategically placed mineral sites and food plots to help him keep tabs on the local deer herd. There's nothing like a patch of imperial clover to draw the bucks in during late summer and early fall.
My father always took me out hunting when I was younger. It was mostly waterfowl hunting. We spent a lot of time in the duck blind together. He wasn't a real big game hunter, and it really wasn't until college where I just went crazy into hunting and basically got a second major into hunting, and that's where I got addicted to it. The first real nice buck I shot, I had a bunch of friends coming up and wanted to put them in some good hunting spots, so I sat in what I thought was not a very good producing spot, just off a highway with a bean field, and sure enough, 7 minutes into the opening morning rifle season, a nice big 135, 140 inch 8-point stepped out. And I dropped him with my first shot. Got to watch his rack just silhouetted in the sunrise, and it was just basically began my interest and my passion for hunting big whitetail. Seen about 5 years ago when I really started getting into bow hunting, and I kept having these encounters with monster bucks, but just really couldn't close the deal, but finally started killing some nice Pope and Young deer to start off with. And it was just awesome to connect with the buck with an arrow and find that deer, and just basically completing the whole puzzle. It was just awesome. As an 8th grade technology teacher, I do a lot with the filming and the editing and teaching kids to run video cameras and editing software. And through my hunting is where it really inspired me to get it out there to all these kids. And the video interest was just overwhelming. And through my guide service, it just seemed like I met a couple of guys, Rick and Rock Bonomo, that really got me into filming more and taking it to the next level. But anytime you have an opportunity to catch something on camera, it's just an awesome feeling, because you can always go back and see exactly how it developed. So anytime I go into the woods, you got to have some kind of media device, whether it's a digital camera or a video camera with you, because you never know what you're going to get. It seems like whitetail hunting for me is kind of a year-round thing now. Not only the hunting, but the shed hunting. I put lots of shoe leather down, just miles, just trying to find antlers, figure out different bedding areas and core areas where these big bucks hang out. In the summertime, just constantly running the game cameras, checking for pictures, big bucks, different types of bucks, who's frequenting the area, what food sources they're using. And as you get closer to the rut, you eventually get to hunt, and that's like the top dog. And then December rolls around, you're putting the cameras back out, see what lived, what survived after the gun season, and it's just a year-round process that never stops and it just never gets old for me. Whitetail hunting for me is just something that I could absolutely not live without. I gotta have it.
Our first hunt takes place during early season, and Chris has decided to try a little calling to get the attention of any good bucks in the area. And it doesn't take long before a good buck is heading his way. Although it's not a Kansas giant, this buck is definitely fired up and puts on quite a display for Chris.
Not a shoot. Split brow time. My wife missed this buck during muzzle season. He needs another year or two for me. Awesome scrape action. Rattling works.
Chris enjoys some great success calling in bucks, and on this evening's hunt, Chris has set up on the edge of a field where he's been watching some good bucks feeding. As Chris scans the thicket he's set up next to, he spots a great buck moving through the timber. As the big buck enters the field, he looks for the source of the estrus bleats, then begins circling downwind of Chris's position. Unfortunately, Chris's shot is a little high, and combined with the buck jumping his string, he misses the big Kansas buck clean. Chris enjoys filming his friends almost as much as he enjoys hunting himself, and on this evening's hunt has traded places with his friend and cameraman Ryan Lemcool to try and capture some more great rattling action during the rut. And as it happens so often in Kansas, a good buck is heading their way in no time at all.
He's going right now into the CRP. It's sidekick, dude. Yeah. Do you want me to have playground call ready? Yeah, it's sidekick. Positive.
Unfortunately for the pair, tonight it just wasn't meant to be.
Enjoyed the process, to tell you the truth. It was lit up a spark to get back into this and create some new innovations. So
it's really a cool experience to be able to dive in, work one-on-one with him in designing this new stand and climbing sticks.
it was an enjoyable process, to tell you the truth. It was lit up a spark to get back into this.
In the last 2 episodes, we talked about why I prefer morning hunts over evening, and the 3 locations to concentrate your efforts on. This week we're going to talk about getting the most out of your morning hunts. Over the years, I have noticed that morning hunts have been very productive but short-lived. I found myself either sitting over a food source and having 45 minutes of phenomenal action and then not seeing a deer for the next 3 hours. Or I would dive into a bedding area and have to wait 2 to 3 hours before even seeing a deer. So what I like to do is hunt the food sources first thing in the morning. And as soon as the action dies off, I get down and I still hunt to a preset bedding area stand and catch the second wave of deer movement in late mornings. This doubles my effectiveness on morning hunts and allows me to stay in the game for the entire morning.
Welcome back to Lone Wolf's Whitetail Addictions.
We're rolling out to a city spot that Caleb's gonna put me on this morning. Sounds like a pretty happening spot. Lots of does in the area. We're hoping a buck is gonna come cruising by, maybe checking for a late estrus doe. It's about 29, 30 degrees. There's about 3 to 4 inches of snow on the ground. Not a very big wind this morning, so I don't think we're gonna be real quiet getting in. It's gonna be a little crunchy, but we know there's some deer in the area, and I'm trying to get away from the rifle hunters. It's rifle season, and these deer shouldn't be that pressured, so I don't know, I guess we'll see what happens.
Chris isn't in his stand long before he hears a deer heading his way. Chris's first arrow misses the buck clean. But, not knowing what happened, the buck sticks around long enough for Chris to reach for another arrow. And this time, he connects.
Rifle season's been open for about 4 days now, and we decided that we wanted to still try and hunt with our bows. Kansas allows you to hunt on your archery permit for a buck during rifle season as long as you wear orange, and it paid off this morning. Packed the lone wolf in the dark. We did a hang and hunt, and got in the tree. We busted deer on the way in, but the conditions are just perfect. There's no wind. It's probably 30, 35 degrees, snow on the ground, and I just knew that deer would be moving on a morning like this. And this guy was cruising along by himself, and gave him the old can and a couple grunts, and he came in on a string.
Lone Wolf's Whitetail Addictions will be right back. Welcome back to Lone Wolf's Whitetail Addictions. Congratulations to Chris on a great late-season Kansas trophy. Thanks for compiling some awesome footage of some great bucks. I'm sure we'll be seeing more of Chris next season.